All right. Can I be heard? Oh, shit, I don't have my model up. What have I been doing for the past 5 minutes? Not paying attention, apparently. All right, how we doing, guys? All right, so there are a number of things that I wanted to talk about today, and I'll go ahead and let's see here. There. All right, is the audio okay? Well, this is embarrassing. Ha! Okay, there we go. Took me a second to figure it out. Audio good? Hey, how's it going, shorty? How you been? All right. So there are a number of things that I really wanted to talk about because there's been so much going on lately, and I kind of wanted a chance to just talk and get all of my thoughts out. So the first thing that I want to do is address some of the backlash that I've been getting after my most recent video upload. It's not anything crazy. I'm not being canceled or anything, but a lot of people have made some criticisms towards me, and I wanted to clarify, defend myself, correct some misinformation. So I wanted to get started with that. So first things first. So the most recent video that I uploaded is from, it is the, let me pull it up here. It's the clip of Silvervale talking about her opinions on the other VShojo girls, right? Oh my god, I hate ads. So here's the thing. When I uploaded this video, for crying out loud. All right, so when I uploaded this video, I got a lot of comments criticizing how the video was edited. So I wanted to go over that here. So first things first, people said that I was manipulating the video to make it seem like Silver was saying things or implying things that she didn't actually do. So I just wanted to go over how I made the clips for this video. So first of all, I didn't watch the entire stream. What I did is I grabbed clips from Silvervale's Twitch channel. I grabbed the most popular ones over the past day from her most recent stream, and then I edited them to make them a little bit snappier, and I only took the most interesting and important moments from her entire stream. However, unintentionally, what ended up happening was because I took all of the most important moments and put them side by side, and because I edited out all the ums and the ahs, apparently people are saying that it sounds like Silvervale went on this like big unhinged rant for several minutes, just absolutely taking shots at everybody, and that's not what she did, but because of the way I edited the video, unintentionally I gave that impression. So I just want to clarify, Silvervale, when she was streaming, people in chat were pestering her constantly over and over and over again to get her to make comments about the situation. What do you think of VShojo? What do you think of Iron Mouse? What do you think of Connor? Yada, yada, yada. So all of these comments are spread out over an entire stream after consistent pestering and after a whole lot of waffling about and and I think and maybe. So she definitely did not go off on the rant that I unintentionally made it look like she went on. So that's entirely my fault. I want to take ownership of that and apologize for my editing style. However, some people were accusing me of maliciously and intentionally misrepresenting her, and I absolutely did not. I had no intention of making her look like a worse person than she actually was out to. All I wanted to do was get the most interesting and relevant moments all in a row with as little dead air and as little nonsense as possible. So that was my intention, and I apologize for my poor editing. Tanner saying, I didn't watch your stream, but I looked on Twitter. At least they're still friends. It seems to me, like based on what I saw, that, Vebe and Silvervale are still good friends. And even though I think Silvervale made a couple of passive-aggressive comments about Iron Mouse and some of the others, I really don't think it means that they're like at each other's throats. Like I saw a lot of comments saying a lot of really negative stuff that I feel like wasn't necessarily warranted. I feel like people are acting like, her offhanded remarks that she made passively after hours of pestering don't really warrant people accusing her of being, catty and drama hungry. Because if she was really drama hungry, she really would have gone on this huge rant. So I just want to clear up the misinformation that that I had unfortunately participated in unintentionally. So now that we got that out of the way, there's some other things that I wanted to talk about. What? Oh. Sorry about the silence on mine. There we go. There's the video. That's the one I was talking about. So this is the video that I'm talking about. So in this video, Silvervale is talking about the VShojo girls. It's all quick edits. It's all in a row. It makes it look way more dramatic than it actually was. Now, she does actually say a few things that I do want to comment on. So first of all, people, after watching this video, for some reason, everybody is saying that Silver and Vey are going to join OTK, One True Kings. No, she specifically said she's going to stay indie. So I don't know where this narrative that she's going to join OTK is coming from, because her entire post, mind you, said indie bitches. Like, those are her words, not mine. You're not going to make a post saying, indie bitches, smug face, if you're then going to join another content creator organization like the One True Kings, OTK. Yeah, I hadn't heard of it until people mentioned it either, but I think it's, if memory serves, I think it's Asmongold's content creator group. And apparently she's friends with Asmongold, so. I'll put that away. But yeah, just because she's friends with Asmongold doesn't mean she's going to join his group. Vey's boyfriend? I don't know what you're talking about, Tamak. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is that, at first I was really shocked, and everyone was shocked, that Vey and Silvervale left VShojo. But, I've had some time to ruminate on it. I've had some time to think on it. And I'm a lot less surprised now than I was at first, because I kind of got to thinking, when you join HoloLive, when you join Nijisanji, when you join Idol Corp, these companies, they provide you your model, your PC, free promotion, collab opportunities. Like, they do everything for you, and they use their existing capital to help you get started with a big audience. But VShojo, they grabbed currently existing talents with a currently existing fan base, with a currently existing model, with a currently existing PC setup, and didn't really do all that much for the talents aside from, what does VShojo even really do? Merch opportunities, I guess, kind of. They're not really giving them collab opportunities because they were free to collab with whoever they wanted as indies already, It's not like, promotion was really an issue. They were already huge. So what was VShojo even really providing? Not security. As anyone familiar with the Nuxtaku drama remembers, their security was ass. What are they providing, right? Was it, were they protecting their talents when they get into controversy? No. They completely left her with no support when she got in that whole Hogwarts Legacy drama. So I really, don't blame them for leaving the agency, because it doesn't seem like the agency is doing a whole heck of a lot. And it kind of feels like in VShojo, and I don't say this accusatorily, this is just an observation. Everybody in VShojo is kind of in their own clique anyway. Like Iron Mouse and Connor and, a handful of others kind of orbit the same circle. You've got Vebe and Silvervale have been pretty tight. They've got their own little circle. And it seems like less of a proper VTuber organization and more of just a loose social club with a, talent manager. You know what I mean? They provided a brand. Yeah, exactly. So, when I first heard the news, I was shocked, but then I took a minute to think about it. I'm like, wait, I'd probably do the same thing. It doesn't seem like, they get too terribly much benefit out of it. Now, the next thing that I heard a lot after releasing the video is that a lot of people were saying that Silver was being petty and throwing shade. And I can kind of see where people are coming from in that, but I also a little bit disagree. So here's the thing. Silvervale wasn't actively choosing to throw shade. She was being pestered by her fans and she answered direct questions. I think I even included all the questions that she was asked that she was responding to. I mean, you can argue she was being passive aggressive. I'll give you that, 100%. But I don't think she was maliciously trying to start rumors. So I think people are being a little bit harsher on her than they necessarily need to be. I don't think her goal was to instigate drama. I think her goal was to answer direct questions from her fans. Another hot take that I'm seeing a lot in my comment section is that Mouse is somehow in the wrong. Because if you watch the video, Silvervale says that she was unhappy with Mouse because, she went like 7 months without contacting her. But you got to remember, it doesn't necessarily mean Mouse is a bad friend. I mean, Mouse is a full-time streamer. She streams like every day. She's got a shit ton of friends and acquaintances to juggle. She's got medical issues to juggle. She's got all these things competing for her time. I don't think she's maliciously being a bad friend. I think Silver kind of just fell through the cracks. And I think Silver kind of took it personally when it genuinely wasn't meant to be personal. So, the narrative that, Iron Mouse is at fault in any way, total nonsense. I want to debunk that wholeheartedly. We all know Mousy. We all know how kind she is and how supportive she is and how much she's got on her plate. It makes no sense to put any blame on her, in my opinion. And, Tokodachi saying, a comment I saw said they could be on friendly terms but not friends necessarily. And, yeah, I think that's totally fair. That's a completely fair assessment. Because there's nothing wrong with just being acquaintances, right? I mean, I think most people in this industry are legitimately just acquaintances and not necessarily friends. And her clarifying that her and Iron Mouse are not really friends, I don't think that's the shots fired, pew, 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 get shade thrown on. I don't think it's as dramatic as people feel like. I think it's just 100% honesty. Like, I've spoken to Kiyomaru. We're not friends. You know what I mean? We're cordial acquaintances at best. So, a good friend is someone who you can talk to regardless of how long the time has been between talking. Also, people drift. Yeah, and that's totally fair. People drift apart, and just because people have drifted apart doesn't mean there's malice at play or someone is in the wrong. I don't like the idea that someone has to be wrong in a given situation. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to fix chat. Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is one thing where I do actually think that the people who are spreading rumors might have a little bit of a point. So I kind of want to, there's some things that people have said that I agree with and something I don't. And that's when Silvervale says, Connor's not my boyfriend. I don't give a fuck what he does. So some people are saying that that is her dropping that Iron Mouse and Connor are dating. I completely disagree. I mean, sure, Iron Mouse said that she wouldn't tell anyone if she was dating anyone, but that comment doesn't really strike me as like an admission that they are 100% confirmed dating. All she said is, she's not my boyfriend, why would I care? That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean they're dating. She didn't even necessarily imply that the two were dating. But I do think, because of how angrily she said it, I think she is likely, possibly a little bit jealous of the amount of attention Iron Mouse gives to Connor that she herself didn't receive. I mean, she mentioned that they'd gone 7 months without talking, but Mousy and Connor talk like every day. So if you want to argue that she was being passive-aggressive and possibly jealous, okay, I think there might be some validity to that, but it's certainly not an admission that they are 100% confirmed dating. That's weird to me. All right. Is she still in the process of moving? Iron Mouse? I think she is, actually. I don't know if she recently stopped moving or if she's still in the process, but that's one more reason why Mouse might be too busy to stay in touch with friends. Let's see. Slightly out of pocket. I think that's the biggest issue with Silvervale that I have, that I think some of the criticism is totally warranted. Silvervale's tone of voice during the stream was a little passive-aggressive, more passive-aggressive than it necessarily needed to be. And I think because she was unhappy and because she was passive-aggressive, I think that's what's causing all these different narratives and all these different rumors to kind of grow and sprout. Because when you're vague and passive-aggressive, people go, oh, shit, oh, drama, oh, my God, shade. I think her tone of voice did a lot of legwork there that caused way more drama than is really necessary, in my opinion. It's because the Connor comment was followed up from the Iron Mouse comment, so it felt kind of connected. Okay, so I've mentioned this before, but I do want to clarify. I put those two clips side by side because they were two interesting tidbits that I wanted to share. But I do want to make it clear, those two comments in the original stream were not actually side by side. The video that I posted was 3 separate moments across an entire 2-3 hour stream after she was repeatedly pestered. She did not make that comment immediately after the Iron Mouse comment, so it's entirely possible that it was unrelated. So I just want to get in front of that really quickly. That was entirely the fault of my editing and not her going off on a rant like, Iron Mouse isn't a real friend, fuck Connor. She was not ranting by any means. That was bad editing. Raven Hunter saying, I feel like that was out of character, especially on a live stream, but being off the contract kind of feels like weight off your shoulders to say what you want to say. The only reason I disagree with that, I see what you're saying, the only reason I disagree with that is because VShojo, the company, never really put a ton of restrictions on what the talents could and could not say. They honestly felt like more of a talent agency than an actual VTuber corpo. I can't think of any time where their speech was restricted like it would be if you were at Nijisanji or HoloLive, which are much more strict with their talents and will absolutely fire you if you step out of line. See Zion Lanza, where they fired her for stepping out of line. I mean, you could absolutely get away with all the things that Zion said in VShojo. I don't think, what's the CEO's name? Artgun? I don't think he would care. All right. It's obviously Aethel and Connor that's dating. I'd be down with it. Beals is not wrong about any of this. Thank you. I appreciate that. Who wants donuts? I want donuts! Give me some donuts! What got me is Mouse stood up for her during the Hogwarts drama. I agree, and that's why I feel like the passive-aggressive attitude and her tone of voice wasn't necessary, because Mousy stood up for her, and now she's being, Iron Mouse isn't a real friend. She hasn't talked to me in a couple months. It was unwarranted, in my opinion. More passive-aggressive than it needed to be. So, but the idea that they're not friends or that Mousy is a bad friend, I feel like saying Mousy is a bad friend is a step too far. But I saw a surprising amount of people fully ready to throw Iron Mouse under the bus, which is wild. How could you hate Iron Mouse? What did she ever do? Hey, Beals, and welcome to 2023, the year where VTuber corpos get snapped like Thanos. I know! I'm going to get into that topic a little bit later in this stream, but I 100% agree with you. Pixel Foxy, hi, how's it going? I seem to have joined the VTuber community at the worst time. Bro, it feels like the VTuber community is collapsing. I'm going to get into that more later, but it really feels like a bad time. The bubble is popping. Beelzy will join V Shonen. Maybe. I could use the free promotion. And it would be really cool to collab with like Mousy and Yanners. That'd be dope. Yeah, I would if I could. Gunrun is the guy in charge of VShojo. Thank you, Tokudachi. Gunrun. I feel like Gunrun as a CEO has the benefit of not being strict with his talent, but but also the deficit of not being as supportive as he could be or as providing as many services as he could. So pros and cons. Do you think Zion would fit in PC? FaZe Connect. You know what? FaZe Connect has Pipkin motherfucking Pippa. If FaZe Connect can tolerate Pippa, they will absolutely tolerate Zion. That's actually, I like that. I'm a fan of that. I think that would definitely be a good fit. So what's going to happen to the VShojo universe lore now with these latest graduations? I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to hold you. I don't think it's going to matter. Nyanner's lore has changed like 3 times. The lore is fluid. I see what you're saying where it's going to mess with the lore, but I promise you the lore is fluid and ever-changing. Well, I don't know what's going on behind the VShojo, but I agree. Thank you. Who could hate Iron Mouse? You are not ready for the Brittany Venti rabbit hole then. The what? Why does that name sound familiar? I know I've heard that name before. What? Why do I know that name? I know I've heard that name before. That's going to bother me until I figure out what you're talking about. Considering the agency got several VTubers who are part of VShojo, is this teasing we might be seeing Mythic might own VShojo soon? Well, Mythic is a separate talent agency. Again, they're not a traditional VTuber corpo. There's no reason you can't be in VShojo and be part of Mythic. They're separate agencies that do separate things. VShojo help the girls with merch. Mythic, their primary goal is to get you sponsorship deals. They're really, really good at getting their talents sponsorships. So I don't think there's anything preventing you from being as part of both. Not even after a month after graduations and new talents are being added. Yes, so that is something that I wanted to talk about. That is on my list of things. Just a quick aside, can we talk about how Nijisanji JP debuted a new wave, and a month later, they're already announcing a new wave with names already at the ready? I feel like the VTuber bubble is popping, and Nijisanji is panicking, and they're just trying to hire as many VTubers as physically possible, scrambling to get as many talents as possible because people are dropping like flies out here. Absolutely dropping. I'm going to get into it in a minute about how many people have graduated since February, and I think some of you might be blown away by how many people have graduated. I think Nijisanji sees the writing on the wall. You could feel the vibe immediately after Silver's speech. It felt like a little too passive-aggressive. I think she should have said it differently and more respectfully. I agree. I agree. Pep and Zion, yes, might as well throw Neuro in while you're at it. Yeah! Fuck yeah! Zion, Pippa, and Neuro. What a wild collab that would be. Let's do it. Man, I would be so into that. Venti has something against Gura, I think. I don't remember who Venti is, so I'm not going to comment. I have no words during this. I wish I could, but I can't find anything. That's totally understandable. This is a stressful situation. A lot of people are baffled and at a loss. I She slandered both Gura 3 times and accused Mouse of faking her condition of being... What the fuck? Bro, how... What would be... Oh my god. I would say, what is the point of faking a medical condition? But then the obvious answer is, sympathy. I think it is so scummy to accuse Iron Mouse of faking her condition. If she was really faking her condition, would she really have deep insight into the details of her condition that most people, that I don't think anyone who doesn't have the condition would even know? Like, she talks about the plasma donations, the nurse, I think she's got a tube in her chest or something. Like, she knows way too much and has been way too consistent to be faking it, in my opinion. That and some of her streams, she's clearly medicated. There's no way Mousy is faking it. I don't believe that for a second. But if Venti is accusing Mousy of faking it, she needs to shut the hell up. Nijisanji needs to slow down. They absolutely do. Also, speaking of Niji, last month they debuted the Heroes of the East team, I think. Now they're debuting the Heroes of the West. Do I smell Niji JP doing an Avengers event? Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down with that. Venti is a right-wing grifter and VTuber hater. Then fuck Venti. Man, everything I'm hearing about Venti makes me hate her. I don't know enough about her to say anything concretely, but from what I'm hearing, fuck her. Iron Mouse is trusted and loyal, and so is her diagnosis. I am confident it is legit. Absolutely. Nijisanji needs to introducing and focus on who they already have. I agree. The problem with Nijisanji is that when they have so many generations already that even members of their own company, honest to God, can't keep track of it. I want to say it was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Kyo who said, he was like, man, I can't keep track with the Nijisanji lore. And then he got a whole bunch of shit from people saying, it's not lore, it's your history, and you should know it. And he got a bunch of shit for that. Bro, their own employees can't keep track of it. All right. Let me pull up my list here. Okay. Let me grab my list. I talked about Silvervale. I talked about the Nijisanji JP. Okay, so here's another big thing that I really, really wanted to talk about. So I just wanted to go over, look, you can argue that Veibai and Silvervale leaving VShojo technically isn't a graduation because they're not getting the send-off, they're not getting the graduation. They're just, they're keeping their IP, they're keeping their identity, they're keeping their fan base. You could argue they're not graduating, right? But if we just talk about everyone who's left a company, been fired, quit, left their organization, let's just go through the list of, this is all just since February, like mid-February. Lily Sin from Idol, gone. Wactor has been a complete debacle that's suing their own talents, and an entire generation is gone. Pikami, Zion, four former Nijisanji ID members gone at the same time. Kawaii Gen 3, gone. For a Yuri, gone. Everybody is leaving. There is like a dozen people who have been terminated or graduated or left in the past 2 months. Like since mid-February, there's been over a dozen people gone. This is spring cleaning. I genuinely, honestly think the VTuber bubble as a whole, as we understand it, straight up popping. Because here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. This whole VTuber bubble, we were all there. 2020, 21, 22, we were all there. We watched VTubers skyrocket into popularity. We watched HoloMyth absolutely destroy YouTube and everyone's expectations. They exploded on the map. They brought VTubing onto the scene. Nijisanji pumping out great talent after great talent. We've got all of these different corpos. People were really churning out talents 2020, 21, 22. And now, spring 2023, everybody's dropping. And the ones that I listed are just the big names that people actually care about. That's not even to mention all the indies that have just fallen off. There are so many like friends, small indies that I follow that they started VTubing, they got themselves a model, they got themselves a small little audience and then just evaporated because they either couldn't grow fast enough or life got in the way. People are genuinely dropping like flies, and I think we are going to see a huge downscaling in VTuber overall popularity and total VTuber numbers. And I think Nijisanji constantly spamming out new members is not going to offset this. I think we're going to see not a steep downturn, but definitely a decline in interest in VTubers. I think it's definitely going to plateau. I don't think the industry is going to die. There are way too many big names for this to die. But I think we're going to see a decline and then a plateau very, very soon. In fact, I'd argue we're already, at the beginning of the decline in interest, in members, in fans, merch sales. Like, it's all decreasing. So the VTuber bubble is popping, and you can kind of tell that we're kind of like at capacity in this industry, right? We've kind of got every niche you could want a VTuber to do already filled. We've got political VTubers, which are not very popular, thank God. We've got cooking VTubers like Onigiri, which is cool, but that's, a very obscure niche. We've got, gamers, singers, artists, every major niche that you could want for a faceless content creator kind of been filled. And then all the people who were faceless YouTubers all got themselves a VTuber model. Case in point, Jaden Animations, which, can I just say, I love Jaden Animations and her absolutely bratty personality and her trolling J-Schlot. Love it, love it, love it. Nuxtaku got an avatar. Hell, even Lost Paws got an avatar. There was this huge boom and then a huge die-off, and it's probably gonna keep declining for the rest of 2023, and by the end of it, I think we're gonna plateau. So I want to hear what you guys think. What do you think about the VTuber bubble? Do you guys think we're dying? Do you think we're on a decline? How soon do you think the plateau is going to happen? I'm really curious what you guys think. All right, I've been babbling for a bit. Let me talk to you, chat. Thoughts on HoloLive this year? My only problem with HoloLive is that there's very rarely a ton to talk about with HoloLive, because I think HoloLive is relatively decent at keeping things under wraps and keeping things drama-free. Not drama absent, mind you. There's always news to talk about. But, when you compare them to other VTuber organizations, and especially indies, they very rarely have... Anytime they get into drama, it's almost always because the fans are being shitheads, not because the talents themselves are being shitheads. I.e., Calliope Mori getting in trouble for the lean comment, or commenting on Connor, or, all that shit, or commenting on how bad her music is. None of that is her fucking fault. That's just toxic fans. So it's like the talents themselves, the people I actually care about, are relatively drama-free. I wonder if that is because the talents themselves are just genuinely low-drama individuals, or if that's because the company is keeping a lid on things very, very tightly and stopping drama before it gets public. I'd be curious to know what you guys think. All I know is that the Vishojo, Niji, and Vyugan cause last year, I started watching VTubers because of Silvervale. She introduced me to VTubers. I gotta say, I remember when Silvervale and Project Melody and a couple of others were doing Lewdcast. Y'all remember Lewdcast? That was fun. And I feel like that's kind of how, in my head, when I think of Vishojo, I think of Lewdcast, right? And the fact that Silvervale was the day one VShojo member, she was, a founding member of Lewdcast. She was part of the original 7. Her not being in VShojo is wild. Losing a founder is wild. It's not going to be the same, in my opinion. If they're going to make more waves, I wish some of them will be ID, like, Indonesia. Yeah, I agree. I'm not. I still don't understand why Nijisanji folded Nijisanji into. I'm not sure why Nijisanji folded their Indonesia branch into their general branch. I don't understand what the point was. That didn't seem to solve anything from my POV. 2023 is an interesting year for VTubers. Absolutely. Dude, poor Pikami. She did not deserve any hate. She really didn't, though. Poor fucking Pikami. I know people say that she had plans to leave beforehand, but personally, I simply can't accept that. I think she might have had reasons to want to leave beforehand, but she got harassed and then went silent and then graduated. People keep telling me she was already planning on leaving, but I have a hard time buying it. I have a really hard time believing that, this was all 100% pre-planned. This was all 100% going to happen in this way. I'm still mad at people for what they did to Pikami. I'm still bitter about it. All right. Of course, they own up and we're wished well, but Vey is now a member of Nux Agency. Member of Nux Agency. Sorry, friend, I don't know what you mean. What you mean? I wish Yuri was allowed to keep her stuff. Oh, Yuri, yes. I do too. And that's weird. Fura Yuri came in as a phase invader with her own model and fan base. And the fact that she transferred ownership of that to Phase Connect, I find really weird. I personally would never hand over ownership of this Beelzebub model or this identity or this fan base. I might hiatus it and then respawn with a new identity, but no one is ever getting their hands on this model and this identity and this fan base. I have to imagine she handed over the rights, but that would not be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it. Not to be a phase invader. VTuber peak is 2020 to 2022. VTuber is falling now. That's 100% true. I think the problem is that the VTuber market is oversaturated. Hollow has a safe model with few releases every so often. There are too many indies and Niji VTubers. That's 100% true. Look at HoloLive. They've got Gen 1 English, Gen 2 English. Look at their Indonesia branch. They have, is it 2 or 3 branches in Indonesia? And the only people I even really watch is like Kobo and Ollie from Indonesia. And they started they got 2 waves of the EN Hollow Stars. Or I think they're technically part of the same wave. 2 waves, 1 group. Hollow Tempest. 2 waves of Hollow Tempest. And it's like they keep things pretty succinct. They branch out in different... Rather than give us Hollow Myth, Hollow Council, and then a Hollow EN3, they gave us the Hollow Stars Boys instead. They're more interested in branching out than just spawning as many members as possible. Quite is a VTuber. Well, Quite has done a face reveal now, and I don't know if he still uses the VTuber model anymore or not. I mean, now that his face is out there, and the only reason he ever did the hoodie thing or the VTuber thing was to conceal his identity, I don't know if he's going to continue on that path, or if he's just going to stick to IRL streaming. Because his face is out there now. There's not a whole heck of a lot of a point, unless he wants to do what Kaysan does, where he does a mix of both. We've had a lot of dead wood in the trees for a long time. Oh, 100%. There's been... I don't want to say I'm glad people are dropping, but I have to say I'm not particularly sad that a lot of people are dropping either, because the VTuber community was so saturated for so long. It was completely unsustainable. And I'm not terribly sad that we're seeing a lot of the chaff leave, because it was, you couldn't stay on top of any of it, and a lot of people felt like they were only doing the VTubing thing for a gimmick. Like, I love Noble from Lost Paws. I don't really care that he was a VTuber. That felt a little gimmicky. I love Connor. Don't really care about Booby, his Booby avatar. I love Sitsnap. Don't really care about her Hajime avatar, right? And I don't think that's... and by the way, that's not doxing. That's an open secret. Everybody knows about those identities. But there's a lot of people who got a model, streamed for a little bit as a VTuber, and then almost immediately gave up. And it's like, man, you guys are treating this like a fad. Like this, it has its own culture. You're dipping your toe in for the meme of it, for the trend of it, and then you left. I'm not sad that those guys aren't streaming as VTubers all that much. You know what I mean? Let's not forget the people who made VTuber models and just never used them after 2 or 3 times. I know! I don't think it's dying. I think it's just medlining. That's another way to phrase it. I think at the end of the point where my content is that I am a VTuber, but not at the end of good content creator that happens to use an avatar. Exactly. I think that's a great way to phrase it. Because we are seeing, like, take a look at Kenji, for example. Kenji acts just like a normal YouTuber. He does reaction content. He talks like a normal person. He doesn't really play into the kayfabe. He doesn't do role play. He just talks like a dude, bro. You know what I mean? He talks like, he kind of talks like a frat boy. He's a great example of someone who's just a YouTuber who happens to use a model, right? And personally, like, I'm fine with the whole idol aspect, but I don't really care about it either. I was never an idol fan before VTubers, so the idol culture that comes along with it, I could take it or leave it. Let's see. Yeah, Lewdcast was the kicking off of Silver, Mouse, and Mel being in an agency. Exactly. See, those are the good old days. That was, those were the good times. They really feel like founders to me. And it kind of sucks that Silver and Mouse aren't super close friends anymore because, they started with Lewdcast and then they exploded into VShojo and now they're drifting apart. It's sad. I don't think it's anyone's fault. I don't think, they're bad people, but it's still a shame that the people that you, who kind of introduced you into this space are no longer besties. That kind of sucks. Let's see. My opinion is that Pikami's graduation was going to have an organic announcement after playing the Wizard game, but Twitter put her off of everything. That's entirely possible. What are your thoughts about Silver's comments about Iron Mouse and the other VShojo talents in Connor? I've already gone over this, but I'll go over it again because I've got way more viewers now than when I went over this before. Here's the thing, right? The way I edited that clip was unintentionally misleading. I put all of her most relevant moments in a row, and I edited out all the ums and ahs, right? So what you see when you watch the video that I uploaded, it kind of sounds unintentionally like she's taking shots. She's like, fuck these fake friends, fuck Iron Mouse, fuck Connor, ba 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 ba. That's not how it happened in stream. So I just want to clarify for the people who are just joining, what actually happened in the stream is this was an hours-long stream. She was pestered about it by chat, and at multiple different points with minutes or even hours in between, she answered direct questions from chat. So as far as her specific comments, was she more passive-aggressive about Iron Mouse, not being as frequent as a friend as she liked? Yeah, I think she was more passive-aggressive than she needed to be. That was a little bit unnecessary, but I don't think her goal was to start drama. I think her goal was simply to answer a direct question. And as for the Connor comment, where she's like, well, Connor's not my boyfriend, so I don't give a fuck what he thinks. There was definitely bitterness there. And I think she might be jealous of, Iron Mouse spending so much time with Connor and not spending time with her. But there was a weird rumor saying that that comment confirms Iron Mouse and Connor are dating, and there's no reason to believe that they're dating. They're friends, and if they are dating and they're not public, it's none of our business, guys. I don't like the rumor that, male and female are friends. They're dating. Silvervale, made a boyfriend comment. She made the boyfriend comment many, many, many minutes after the Iron Mouse comment. I don't think they were directly related in the sense that she's calling Connor Iron Mouse's boyfriend. The reason people say it was pre-planned is because VOM's management said it was. I hear you. I have a hard time accepting that because of everything leading up to it. It might be true, but I just have a hard time accepting it. Company policy is why HoloLive is mostly drama-free. Talents are expected to behave on stream in comparison to, say, Nijisanji, which is allowed to be more unhinged unless they go way too far. I think there's some validity to that, but I think it's a mix, right? There's definitely censorship that goes on in HoloLive. Like, there's very clear moments where the talents are like, they're like, M-Chan, can I say this? M-Chan, I don't want to get in trouble with M-Chan. Like, there's definitely censorship moments at play, 100%. But I also think they just really went out of their way in the vetting process and when they were casting talents to make sure that they were getting talents that aren't going to start drama. You know what I mean? When you're like Nijisanji and you just take everybody to the point where you have your own academy to get as many talents as possible, you're not vetting those people. You know what I mean? There's not a thorough review on every single talent. And I think that's to HoloLive's credit. They picked the absolute best of the best, the most talented, the funniest, the best, the least dramatic. You know what I mean? Their vetting process is so much stronger than Nijisanji's. And by keeping it simple, they're able to keep a lid on things way, way more efficiently. And that's why I'm so angry at Nijisanji for debuting another JP wave a month after they just released another. It's too much. There's no way you can keep track of all this. Speaking of corpos, there's still some hope because I saw a new agency, VStream, going to debut their first wave of VTubers soon. And I saw the silhouette of their members. I saw 10 of them. Nice. I hope they do well. What's up, Maro? How's it going? I don't understand the support for Nux. I don't know the backstory about him, but I can't stand watching his content. He's so grating. That kind of depends on what you mean by the backstory on Nux. Like, personally, I watch Nux because I think he's hilarious, and that's about as deep as my give a shit meter goes. I just think he's funny. I like his anime videos. I thought him reacting to Velma was hilarious. But beyond that, you'll have to be more specific. I wish there are more VTuber branch in other Asian countries like the Philippines. Bro, the Philippines genuinely needs a VTuber branch. Why are the Philippines so underrepresented? Bro, I look at my analytics, I look at the comments, I look on Twitter, I look at indie VTubers. I've got a shit ton of Filipino followers. I see a shit ton of indie Filipino VTubers. I see, Tagalog spoken in VTuber chats. Filipinos are here for VTubers. Where is the support? Where is the corporation? Where are the branches? Justice for Filipinos, my dudes. I have a lot of Filipino friends, and I really want to see them represented in like a HoloLive or Nijisanji branch. To my knowledge, I don't think either of them have a Filipino branch. Let's see. I mean, look at Lord Aethel. He has his VTuber in IRL modes as well, and he's having fun being a streamer. It's definitely possible. I agree that it's possible. Kenji is basically Dashi XP, the VTuber. I don't know what that means. People grow and change. That's life. People come and go out of your life. Exactly. Here's the thing. Even though Silver said that her and Mousy aren't close friends, people are acting like this is this huge insult and throwing so much shade. But I genuinely think she was just being honest. They drifted apart. And she might be a little bit bitter about it, but it's not a huge deal. It's not the end of the world that people drift apart. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world. And it's not even like Silver even said anything bad about Mouse, right? She didn't say, oh, Iron Mouse is a piece of shit. Iron Mouse actively did something malicious. Oh, she didn't say anything. All she said is that she wished she could have spent more time with Mousy. And that's Mousy's got a lot going on. She's got a lot of things to juggle. That's not her fault. The only upside of the wizard game that shall not be named was Pipkin Pippa's reaction and the stream. I love seeing Pippa go absolutely off the rails. I love seeing her just completely lose it. I love how Pippa will just scream about anything at the drop of a hat, full unhinged rant with minimal provocation. You can say a lot of things about Pippa's personality. You can't call her boring. I think Silver was just using the word boyfriend in jest personally, just to tease Mousy a bit, I think. That's entirely possible. What do you mean by the VTuber bubble is bursting? Okay, so Kyber, you're new to the stream. I did go over this again, but I'll cover it one more time. Here's what I mean by the VTuber bubble is bursting. 2020 to 2022, we saw VTubing skyrocket. New agencies, hundreds of new talents, millions of fans. This thing fucking exploded. And then at the end of 2022, things kind of plateaued. 2023, mid-February, Lily Sin from Idol Corp graduated. Wactor dissolved. Pikami graduated. Zion terminated. 4 former Hollow ID member or Nijisanji ID members gone. Kawaii Gen 3 gone simultaneously. Fura Yuri gone. Everybody is dropping like flies. So when you go from a massive spike to a plateau to everyone start to dropping, that means the bubble is bursting. There was this huge explosion and now things are falling apart. I don't expect it to collapse entirely. I just think we're going to see a decline and then a plateau. All right. V Shoujo is an agency, not a corp, so she mad because she didn't ask for a collab. You know, I don't know. I really don't want to like point fingers as to like who's at fault between Mousy and Silver, because Mousy still hasn't come out with her side of the story, and I really don't think it's fair to point fingers at either of them until we hear both sides. But I do agree that V Shoujo is an agency, not a corpo, and there is a difference. Zion Lanza was too base for Nijisanji. Well, I read the comment section on my video about her comments, and a lot of people disagree with you about the based. I don't really care. I'm not sensitive to the sort of things that she talked about, but I understand why people were uncomfortable. But there are a lot of people who disagree with you about the based comment. In all honesty, the fact that she gave a vague answer of "Are we really friends?" bugs me, because it sounds like she wants to go off, because why else answer that way instead of not answering or giving a straight one? I agree that it was passive-aggressive. I agree that it was more passive-aggressive than it needed to be. But I don't think that's necessarily her trying to start drama. Because keep in mind, she was pestered by chat continuously to answer until she did. Those clips that I put in a row in the video were all from different parts in the stream. Is it just me or that I think the delusional girl's parasocial viewers is Nijisanji and delusional boy's parasocial viewer is in HoloLive? There are delusional male viewers of female Nijisanji talents in Nijisanji, full stop, without question. That's part of HoloLive and Nijisanji. But I think because the Holo Myth and Holo Council girls are a smaller group that's more famous, we see a lot more of this same behavior that's a little bit more spread out when you're talking about Nijisanji, just because of how wide of an ocean their fan base is. I do agree that the Nijisanji boys have a lot more weird and parasocial fans than the Holo Tempest boys. That I do agree with. And I think that has to do specifically with the type of content they do. Because Nijisanji boys, we've got Hex Hayware and Vox Akama. They're very parasocial. They do, mental health type stuff, ASMR stuff, boyfriend experience stuff. A lot of stuff that invites toxic fans. And we can argue and bicker about whether or not that's their fault, or if it's just a side effect of the content they make, or whether the fans should just, not be so annoying. But regardless of whose fault it is, I think that's why. It's specifically because of the type of content that they make. I guarantee you, if Vesper made the same content as Hex Haywire, we would have the exact same problem. I don't think it's a corporation-specific issue in that specific regard. I don't know if you've seen this, but I just saw Ironside won't be making Silvervale and Vebe PC anymore because they will fill orders until April 30th. To anyone who got one, you have a major collector's item. Oh, so they're canceling the merch? That makes sense. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they're canceling. I feel bad for people who wanted merch and now it's getting canceled because the people handling the merch are no longer a part of it. That I feel bad for the fans. That's the only people I feel bad for is, being excited for a merch drop and not being able to get it. Not disparaging people for liking different things, just giving context. Sorry, it came off as me being judgy towards people who watch Nux. Okay, I appreciate that. Context and tone of voice doesn't come through in text, so I appreciate you saying that. Same as Latin America, at least for corpos and branches, there's indies, but not as explored as Ian or JP. I would love to see HoloLive SP or Nijisanji SP. I mean, what's his name? Haka? Benzoin Haka? I forget how to pronounce his first name. He is massive with his Spanish audience. People have been craving a Spanish VTuber, and he hit the market. He's doing great in that community, and I want to see more of it. I have a lot of friends from Peru, Guatemala, Brazil, a lot of South Americans. I would love to see more South Americans represented in HoloLive and Nijisanji. Absolutely. Hold on, I'm going to mute. Excuse me, I had to cough and die for a minute. I think Zen posted something about Silver and Vebe. I'll have to check that out after stream. More people are touching grass. I hope so. God knows we need more grass touching in this community. All right. When the Fly Lord says the line, they're dropping like flies, that's when you know shit isn't going to fly. I see what you did there. You know, it's not like Silver and Mousy can't ever collab again or anything. She and Vey may have left VShojo, but it's not like they need special permission, would they? No, absolutely not. VShojo isn't a traditional corpo, they're just an agency, so their talents are free to do whatever the fuck they want. Absolutely. 100%. If they patch things up, if they reconnect, they can absolutely collab again. There's no reason why they couldn't. A lot of people predicted every drama VShojo had affected the VShojo girls to have issues behind the scenes. Do you think this is what happened? I think every organization has problems behind the scenes, period, end of story. It's unavoidable. Have you ever worked at any job that didn't have issues behind the scenes that the consumers weren't aware of? Ever worked? I don't think there's you can't get more than two people in the same place for an extended period of time without them having some kind of trouble. It's not possible. So are there things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about that are probably brewing and causing trouble? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But the important part is how you handle it. Because when you are in the public eye, public perception is massive. And you need to be respectful. You need to not be passive aggressive. You need to say the right things at the right time to the right people. You know, when you're a content creator, you like to pretend that you don't care what anybody thinks. But the truth is, you have to. You have to give a shit what your audience thinks because they are literally funding you. So everyone has problems behind the scenes. How you handle it makes a huge difference. It doesn't help that their voices are the audio equivalent of cocoa butter. Any color only care about their stocks and not their talents. I definitely feel that way because why else would they be spitting out so many goddamn talents before other talents have even had a chance to shine and find a footing and find a fan base. They just want to see numbers go up. They just want to see their number of talents go up, money go up, popularity go up, and nobody can keep track of this shit. Nobody. I 100% agree with you. What do you think about the long-term sustainability of VTuber agencies? As time goes on and the talent gets more brand power, doesn't it become less and less desirable to stay in an agency? Here's the thing. When we're talking about a traditional VTuber corporation, Hololive, Nijisanji, FaZe Connect, Idol Corp, the reason I don't think they'll ever die is because simply they give you the startup package. Period. End of story. A VTuber corpo, a proper corpo, not VShojo, not Mythic, not whatever, Hololive, Nijisanji, FaZe Connect, Idol, they pay for your model. They pay for your PC. They pay for your microphone. They have a built-in fan base of existing fans that they can advertise you to in order to build up hype for your debut to make sure you have asses in seats for your debut. And no matter how undesirable a corpo may be, that will always be valuable. There's never going to be a situation in which that does not benefit you. The introduction to VTubering handed to you on a silver platter is invaluable, and that's why they will never die. Weaken? Yes. Plateau? Yes. Decline? Yes. Die? Never. All right. Haka, Reimu, and Mouse. Honestly, it would be big for any company when we are all hungry for an SP branch all over. 100%. I would love to watch that. Wactor is a black company. Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. I've covered Wactor, and like I'm drawing a blank right now, and you can't see it, but I'm literally pinching the bridge between my eyes because I instantly have a headache just thinking about Wactor. Doxing your own talents. Just doxing your own talents. That one aspect alone, even without the other shit, that one aspect already makes them a black company. But now on top of that, you've got... Wactor is the only company that had people graduate before they even fucking debuted. What? That's insanity. Black company for sure. For sure. Oh. Without a doubt. I still can't believe that happened. Black company is a Japanese company that doesn't care about its employees and treats them inhumanely. Exactly. Absolutely. Black company is a toxic company that commits crime basically on their employees. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. So I have to keep muting. I have to keep coughing. I'm dying. All right. How are we doing on time? How long have I been streaming for? I feel like I said all of my main points. So at this point, I'm just interacting with chat. I feel like I said most of my major points. So let's see. I mean, now that we've got 73 viewers, what else are you guys, interested in or curious about? Like, what do you guys see as the future of VTubing? Because I think the bubble is popping. I predict a decline. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to see a huge decline in corpos? Do you think we're going to see a continued graduation spree? Do you think we're going to see a lot more people quitting? Or do you think this is going to bounce back? This is just a temporary blip in an otherwise stable and plateauing landscape. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. And while you guys tell me what you think, Anku, hydrate, redeem. I need a beverage. I'll be right back. One thing Matt, Pat, and I have in common is a love for Diet Coke. Can opening ASMR. I don't think you'll die, but it will plateau. I might die. I'm going to die. I think you mean you don't think VTubing will die. It'll just plateau, which I agree with. God! Sorry about that. Christ almighty, Fruit is getting absolutely lambasted on Twitter for her saying the thing she said about Vay and Silver. What the fuck, man? They're bringing up completely irrelevant shit like cheating. I am so angry when it comes to people constantly spreading this rumor that Fruit cheated on her husband. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I don't know if Fruit cheated on her husband. I also don't care. That is a personal, private matter between her IRL self and her IRL husband, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the content she makes for her fans, okay? Fruit is a lich, okay? She's an adorable content creator, and as long as she is consistently putting out hilarious and adorable and heartwarming and charismatic videos, I don't give a shit what she does in her personal life. That's the beauty of being a VTuber, my guys, is that your personal private life stays private. Why are we trying to creep into the personal lives of a content creator that wants to keep their personal private life private? Is that so much to ask for? Stop bringing up her whether or not she did or did not cheat on her husband. It's her life, and it's not related to her platform. Leave her alone. That really gets under my skin, that whole narrative. I don't think it's true, and even if it is, it's not relevant. All right. AI VTubers are the future. When it comes to AI VTubers, I think Neurosama, because Neurosama was first, and because she is very, very big and people love her, if anyone does the same thing as Neuro, because her AI is based, I believe, on ChatGPT with some modifications, anyone who comes after Neuro is going to be a carbon copy, right? They're going to have the same awkward tone of voice, the same AI-generated voice, the same default stock model. It's going to feel super, super stale. Will there be other AI VTubers? Probably, without a doubt. Are any of them going to get as big as Neuro? No, because she did it first, and anyone copying her style, because they are an AI with no natural creativity, just an algorithm, can't do anything Neuro can't. It's impossible. It's impossible for another AI VTuber to be sufficiently unique from Neuro. So, are we going to see more? Yes. Are they going to overtake Neuro? Absolutely not. I don't believe it for a second. I know people disagree with me. I know that's a hot take. I'm happy to hear counter arguments. That's just my opinion. Very curious to hear what you guys think. Niji hitting more the brake on the factory line for starters. Sorry, George, I don't know what that means. I don't think it's popped. I think we just had a bad time currently because agencies keep popping up and demanding keeps rising. And it's really on Niji that's having issues. Hold on. Let me read that again. Okay. You don't think the VTuber bubble has popped. You think we're just having a hiccup. And part of the problem is Nijisanji. I think that's fair. I personally expect to see a decline in plateau. But I think it's equally likely that we're just going to see a hiccup and then a continued plateau. Did you see Prism is getting a new generation? No, I didn't. Good for them. I'm happy for them. Let's see. I predict a decline in interest. I do too. I think we're already seeing that. I mean, when you look at, like, Gura has, like, what, 4 million viewers? Courageoli has over 1 million viewers. But their live viewers, like their active chatters, is substantially lower than it used to be, just like a year ago. And I don't say that to throw shade on Gura or Courageoli. I love them both. They're wonderful, and they deserve all the love and support, but they may have millions of followers, but active interest is on the decline. Tomak saying, I curse the devil. I remember Pippa starting off flavor VTubers. That was hilarious, especially when they actually did streams. How did that go, by the way? Like, I'm genuinely curious how that all ended up, because I heard about Flavor because of the controversy, and I haven't heard a peep from Flavor since. Are they still a thing? Do people still care, or has the novelty worn off? I genuinely haven't heard a peep from Flavor ever since. People keep saying Fruit said something on Silverstream while the screenshot has the broadcast icon next to Fruit's name as she's on her own stream doing art. Huh, interesting. I think it's just a correction of the market. I agree. Whether this is a blip or the start of a decline, it's definitely the market correcting itself, because the rate it was expanding over these past couple of years was completely unsustainable. Off topic, I love your ability to move the glasses. For some reason, it's pleasing to the one-cell brain. Hell yeah. I love the toggles that I have, actually. I also like how you can combine toggles. I think this is my favorite combination of toggle. It's the sad and angry gives you disgusted. You have no idea how much time I spent on these toggles, by the way. I want you to know, okay, the standard Vroid model comes with smile, laugh, shock, sad, and angry. The wink, I did that. The smarmbrow, I did that. Sunglasses, I did that. This confused expression, I did that, all right? I put so much fucking work into these expressions. Thank you for appreciating it. Thank you for noticing. I put so many hours of work into this fucking model. Ah! I'm going to keep the sunglasses on just because you complimented me, and now my self-esteem is through the roof. I think there's a chance another spike from a new innovation in the VTuber market. I'm not sure what it will be, but Hollow Earth and VR chat strike me as an interesting direction. I'm going to piggyback off of that comment and ask you guys a question. Do you consider VR chat to be VTubers? Like, I agree that it's it's a virtual model. We all agree on that. But they aren't doing like what I'm doing. It's not a live tracking avatar while they're talking to chat and playing games or doing whatever, right? They're specifically in a game world using an in-game avatar that just so happens to be tracking them. And I feel like in my gut, in my intuition, that that's a different thing. Like if I put my model into, and I mod it into a video game, that's not like a VTuber avatar, right? That's a game avatar. I feel like it's different. But what do you guys think? Do you think VR chat counts as VTubing, or do you think it's a totally different situation? It's definitely a different community, that's for sure. I think we'll be seeing more graduation until we reach the inevitable plateau. Maybe we'll see a rotisserie, a revolving door with hopefully good VTubers that do just as good as their predecessors. I really don't think there will ever be a shortage of new talents, even though a lot of the people that joined just because it was a fad are gone. Even though the fad and the novelty has died, we're still seeing new people debut. And I think that after so many years, after 3 solid years of VTubing, the fact that we're still getting new talents means this revolving door is going to keep on revolving, friends. I think that's 100% true. Any color thinking that if they hire talent is just like me guessing and guessing until I get something right. You know what? I kind of vibe with that statement. I kind of do. Because it's like if you throw enough mud at the wall, eventually it'll stick. It's worked out for them so far, but it's also meant they've got a lot of mud on the ground that nobody cares about. And I feel really bad for the Nijisanji talents that debuted in good faith. They gave it their all, but they just weren't as popular. They didn't take off. And because they had no support from Nijisanji, and the fan base is already so splintered that they just fold into obscurity, I think that's a goddamn shame. There's so many Nijisanji talents that I've never heard of, and that's a shame. I feel bad for all the talents that are left on the cutting room floor. Hey, BLZ, what video games do you play? I play a shit ton of Overwatch in my free time. That's my favorite game. I also play a decent amount of Skyrim. And I also really, really like Earth Defense Force 5. The only reason I don't play them on stream is because when I do play them on stream, nobody watches. I get like 50 views. Don't get me wrong. I like playing games in front of an audience, but if no one's going to watch them, I'll just play them on my own time. If I ever get to the size where I can live stream playing a video game to more than 5 people, I'll do it, absolutely. But until then, I'm totally chill just playing that on my own. Vidal talked about doing other neuros in other languages. Whether he was serious or not, time will tell. Well, Vidal has to be able to manage the AI VTuber, because you remember when Neuro got suspended, right? I don't remember what she said. I think she like denied the Holocaust or some shit like that, and he had to do like damage control. He had to, put filters in her chat to stop her from talking about certain things. He actively watches her streams, right? If he makes a neuro duplicate in a language he doesn't speak, he's going to get in trouble, and they're probably going to get banned, because AI, whether we want to admit it or not, most of its development is in English. There is less data available for other languages. There's less support for other languages. There's less oversight for other languages. And that's going to lead to a lower quality product. And that's not the fault of the other language. It doesn't mean that those other languages are inherently inferior. It just means, if you don't have the data and you don't have the support, it's not going to work. Not to mention AI stuff like AI art, AI streamers won't last much longer. I feel like once the novelty wears off, of like, oh wow, cool technology, oh my god, I think it's going to fade a little bit from the public eye and really be only used for shit posting for the most part, and then the occasional scandal where someone tries to pass off AI as real and causes a controversy. AI can be very diverse. Neuro is built on certain language. If it's trained on other stuff, it will be completely different. Technically, yes, but the way AI is right now, I don't see it being different enough. You can make it different, but not different enough for people to care. Because Neuro's personality is really, really inconsistent. The things she says are really random and out of pocket. She doesn't really have any like continuous train of thought. She kind of just says random shit. And just because a separate model says different random shit, I don't think it's going to be equally as successful. Whereas if you have like a real human behind the microphone, you can get wildly different personalities. I don't foresee AI producing both a Pipkin Pippa and a Nino My Inaness. I don't see that happening. Imagine Pippa and Ina being in the same stream, right? You could immediately tell who was who and point out 100 different things that are different about their personality, 100 different uniquenesses. If you put 2 different AI models together, I think people are going to struggle to tell them apart. I really do. It's not that they won't be different at all. It's just, it's not a real person. It's random text generation. And that's not to like insult your point or anything. You brought up an excellent point. I'm just trying to answer it with a genuine and honest opinion. So apologies if it feels like if I was attacking you. Genuinely not my intention. The whole fruit 8 is absolutely ridiculous, honestly. I mean, like, look, she didn't defend Silver during the Harry Potter fiasco. Okay, So pick a valid criticism and stick to it. That's what I believe. You know, this is something that annoys me as well. You bring up you bring up a point that I want to piggyback off of, which is public support versus private support. I have heard so many times from content creators that they talk things out in private on Discord, and I have heard like 3 or 4 different content creators say this specific line. Specifically, you, the fans, are not entitled to our discussion. And I believe that wholeheartedly. People hash things out in the background in ways that we are not privy to. And just because we didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen and doesn't mean it's not valid. You just have to trust that they are handling things like mature adults in private, as it ought to be. Not every argument has to be a public circus. In fact, I think it's a detriment when people argue publicly and refuse to hash things out in private. It makes for great entertainment, but it's not good for them. It's not good for their image. All it is drama for the drama whores. It's not good for them. It's not good for their community. So I'm glad you brought that up because I've been wanting to say that for a very, very long time. So I'm glad I finally got that off my chest. Those fruit antis fall under the ad hominem fallacy. They already lost their argument by questioning the validity of their actions based on past and personal events, so it's a waste of time for all. Absolutely. Maybe the reason VTuber views is declining is because everything is going back to normal? Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. COVID is, while not over, being ignored and people are going back to normal. VTubing hit during the pandemic when everyone was still at home. It skyrocketed. People are back outside now. They got other shit to do. They're not trapped inside. The decline was inevitable. Pekora has more viewers than Gargura. Gargura has more subscribers, but Pekora has more active chatters. And that really goes to show you that your subscriber count doesn't really matter, in my opinion. There are people with only a few thousand subscribers that are getting hundreds of thousands of views on their videos, and there are people with millions of subscribers who get thousands of views on their videos. Subscriber count is a very weak benchmark, so always take subscriber count with a grain of salt. So, it's hard to catch Gargura due to time differences. Still nice to catch when I can. Absolutely. He winked at me. Wink. Japan didn't go back to normal since Japan is always like that. Oh yeah, for sure. Also, VTubers are here to stay. It's just going to be like how gaming YouTubers popped off a very long time ago, but steadily became less huge. And now they still exist, but less popular. Exactly. I was just saying that for starters, I expected Nijisanji finally stopping its assembly line of talents sooner rather than later, because what they're doing is not going to help them with the bubble pop. Absolutely, without a doubt. If they're doing events in VR chat, then maybe. Oh, that makes sense. One can't be the other, but the other can be both. Sorry, I've got I'm several comments behind, so I don't know what you're referring to. Powder is both VR chat and VTubing? I don't know who Powder is, but I'd be happy to learn. Chubby has done VR chat type videos and VTuber stuff more recently. I feel like I know who that is. I know who that is. Does she the one with the really, really tiny, like toddler-esque model with the great big head? VR chat has its own can of worms. It really does. I consider VR chat content creators to be a tiny bit like VTubers, but not exactly the same. If they can find a way to make it worth with other stuff outside the game, then yes. Otherwise, probably not. Yeah, that's how I feel too. It's got a different vibe to it. I feel like being a VTuber is a little bit more in-depth than just having a virtual model. You know what I mean? It's definitely like a specific community and a specific niche. It's becoming a bigger niche now, but it's still its own niche. I want a VTuber that is like a homie and will play games with fans and then trash talk and shout to each other. So you mean Pipkin Pippa? If you want someone to just shout and talk shit, Pipkin Pippa, my friend, right there, right there. I'm handing you that one on a silver platter. Watch Pipkin Pippa. Zion made Nijisanji look horrible, and I love it. I mean, people had pretty mixed feelings about that. I will neither agree nor disagree. All I'm gonna say is that's a contentious subject. I think there should be a little bit of balance. That's fair, between private and public statements. I think I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Nijisanji specifically or somebody else. For a Yuri, I forget which company she was a part of because my brain is melting at the moment. When she was terminated, all the disclosure said was that she violated contract. It gave us enough information to explain what's going on, but not so much information like they did with Zion, where it felt like they were throwing her under the bus and actively insulting her. And I feel like in anything public relations, that's how you should handle it. Tell people what's going on, but don't give them more detail than is necessary. Because over-detailed explanations make it sound like you're talking shit, even if you're not trying to. Drama lie that ruins images badly. Drama absolutely ruins people's public image. This is why I never understand people who like getting into drama. And honestly, even as someone who likes Nuxtaku, this is one of my least favorite aspects of his personality, is the fact that he acts drama hungry. And I don't like it when people do that because it's short-term gain, right? You gain short-term popularity because of the novelty of the situation. But as soon as the situation peters out and the novelty goes away and the drama goes away, everybody stops giving a shit, and now you've got dead subscribers. Now you've got dead followers. Now you've got dead whatevers, right? Drama is a short-sighted way to get famous, and I don't like people who do it intentionally. Stirring the pot is long-term bad in almost all scenarios. I completely agree with you about how people aren't entitled to knowing every little facet of a person's personal life and relationships. Absolutely. Chibidoki is the best. Chibidoki is an absolute gremlin, dude. You know what the difference between Chibidoki and Pipkin Pip are? They've both got lolly models. They're both pink. They both scream a lot. But you know what the difference is, chat? You know what the big difference is? Pippa is insane on purpose, okay? Pippa does everything while fully in control. Chibi is just a whirlwind of things happening to her, and she's panicking about it. Pippa never panics, ever. She doesn't scream because she's panicking. She screams because she's pissed and unhinged. Chibi is screaming because chat bullies her. She died in a video game. She doesn't know what's going on. Something Bowser's feet. Like, she is... Chibi gets derailed. Pippa derails her own goddamn train. That's the biggest difference between those two pink VTubers. And you can quote me on that. Chibi goes off the rails. Pippa derails her own train. Quote me on that. Let's see. Unknown Gamer saying, the monsters who are celebrating Silvervale leaving VShoujo are saying they can ease themselves back into watching VTubers and claim to be so-called fans are not real VTuber fans. First of all, bold take, but let's take it down a notch and analyze what you're saying. So, are there fake fans? Absolutely, without a doubt. 100% agree. Celebrating somebody leaving, I think really depends on the situation. And since I haven't seen people celebrate them leaving, I don't want to comment on that. But saying that you can ease yourself into watching VTubers, that strikes me as really, really irritating. Okay, no drama in VTubing should completely dismantle your love of VTubers. If your entire love of VTubers was dismantled by one drama, I don't think you were ever a real fan to begin with. That part I absolutely agree with. If you were a real fan, there's way too much drama in this community for one drama to like completely eject you from the community. Dylan Mighty saying, everything with Silver really makes me happy. I got into VTubing through my girlfriend and her VTubers, not through big VTubers. Yeah, no, I don't watch it. I don't want to comment too much because I don't watch a ton of Silvervale and I don't want to I don't want to be inauthentic, but I do still agree with your point that like people like VTubers, her and VTubers like her got so many people into VTubing and expanded their horizons that even if she's having some minor petty drama, I'm still going to love and support her. So, yeah, absolutely. And besides, if she wants to go indie, let her. If she's not happy in that clique, fine. Whatever makes her happy, I want her to do. End of story. I am always, always, always pro-talent, and I don't care about the corpos, okay? No matter what. I want what's best for the talents, even if I disagree with them, because they are the ones making the content. They're the ones growing the fan base. They're the ones making people happy. Fuck the corporation. If they're not happy, leave. I don't give a shit. Brand loyalty is so weird, especially in VTubing. Having a tribal warfare between Nijisanji and Hololive or having brand loyalty with only one company is so weird. I don't know why people care. The company isn't the company gets these people started. 99.9% of the work is the talents. So the loyalty and the tribal warfare is nonsense. To be fair, Nux knows how to survive drama and craft a very few. Nux knows how to survive drama, a craft very few can master. Oh, without a doubt. Even though I dislike the fact that he comes off as drama hungry, you are 100% right that he does take ownership of his drama and he doesn't let it defeat him. So those two statements might sound contradictory, but to be honest, two things can be true at the same time. Even though I don't like it, I can still respect his grind. Nux, you can hate Nux all you want. That's totally fine. We can all have different opinions. What you cannot argue is that this man is on his fucking grind and doesn't stop. He's got multiple channels. He puts out videos every day. He makes so much content. He doesn't stop. He doesn't let anything faze him. That part, that specific aspect of his personality, huge respect. I love that about him. I love the fact that he doesn't quit. So, not to mention, Pippa does have a rage big after her at all times. Pippa is always raging about something. Sometimes Pippa raging is the funniest shit I've ever seen. Sometimes it's a little bit more than I can handle, and I gotta like click off and go watch Punkalopi or Gura or something. I love my gremlins. I love the chaos, but every once in a while I'll be like, oh, okay, this is a bit much. You just threatened to shoot up a Walmart. I need to take a couple steps back. I need to watch some Ina. I need to watch some Punkalopi. I need to back off. This is too much. It is, in my opinion, Pippa's best and worst quality is her ability to just fly off the handle. What do you guys think? Do you like that style of like unhinged gremlin, or do you think it gets old after a while? All right. There are too many VTubers to make one thing of drama be the one thing that prevents you from liking VTubers. Exactly. 100%. When you have Nux, Chibi, and Nags together, you'll see Nux and Chibi bully Nags. I know, it's hilarious. I love seeing Nags get bullied. I love how one thing I do like about Nags is like Nags gets bullied constantly, and he very clearly is the one who is always out of the loop. He's always confused. He's always like, what? What did I do? What did I do? Ah! He's very clearly like panicking and like flying by the seat of his pants. But no matter what happens, no matter how much he gets bullied, no matter how confused he is, no matter how panicked he is, how offended he is, he takes it like an absolute champ. He understands that it's all for fun, and he always comes back for more. And that I respect so much. It is so easy to get picked on and take it personally and let it ruin your day and get bitter about it. So the fact that he plays along and he knows it's a joke and he feeds into it, mad respect. He clearly has no idea what the fuck is going on. Even now, he's still learning about the community, but he's here for it and he does it with a fucking smile. What a mad lad. Can you believe he used to talk about sports all the time? I hate how Zion was treated after being fired from Nijisanji. No, a lot of people feel like it was deserved because of her comments. A lot of people are on your side. It is, it's definitely controversial. Again, I don't want to take too strong of a stance on Zion one way or the other, just because, reasons. But there are a lot of people who agree with you and a lot of people who disagree with you. Some people, I don't know. Let's get a consensus. Do you think Zion deserved to be ousted for her edgy jokes? I mean, I understand why people are upset. Rape is an uncomfortable thing to joke about. A lot of people argue it's not something you should joke about. And it's hard not to empathize with people who are victims of trauma. But on the other hand, it is still frustrating to have someone get fired over a couple of jokes. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, chat. What do you guys think? Are you Zion deserved it, or Zion did nothing wrong? Let's get a poll in chat. Pippa's the bringer of truth. Abso-fucking-lutely. Sup, guys? What up, Robonite? Pippa based? Absolutely. Do you believe he's a literal accountant? Nags? I have no idea. Funny how you want your unhinged door the opposite way you want your unhinged VTuber. Loud and squeaky. Also, big ups to Nags, as you mentioned. Absolutely. No. We got no. Okay. A lot of people saying that Zion didn't deserve it. Okay. I'm curious what my community thinks. And it seems like a lot of people are pro-Zion. Interesting. I'll be honest, I could never get into VShojo and their talents. For my personal vibe check, I just felt like I just get the feeling that they felt like they were better than everyone. I don't watch enough VShojo to comment one way or the other on that specific regard. I never felt like Melody or Iron Mouse acted superior. That I can say. And I watch. I never felt like Nyaners acted superior. Whether Vebe or Silvervale acted superior, I don't watch enough of them to comment one way or the other. Despite the fact that I am following almost all the VTubers on YouTube and am following almost all the Clipper accounts on YouTube, I don't get parasocial about it. I mean, that's the way to do it. This is entertainment, right? That's all this is. The kayfabe isn't here to deceive you, it's here to entertain you. The boyfriend-girlfriend experience is not to be parasocial, it's here to be entertainment. The interactions with chat where they read your super chats and interact with you, it's not because they're friends, it's entertainment. And as long as you can keep that in mind, that this is just for the lulz and it's not that deep, you're going to be a much happier person. And even I'll admit, I 100% admit that I get parasocial sometimes. I'll 100% admit that I get too invested sometimes. But I have to be aware of, where the line is. I have to be aware of when I'm getting parasocial and when to take a step back. And I think everyone needs to have that ability to check themselves. It be like, I'm getting in too deep. This is taking over my life. This is taking over all my free time. I'm getting way too obsessed. I need to take a step back. Everyone needs to have that filter. Because no matter what it is, whether it's VTubers, video games, gambling, whatever, you can get too deep into literally anything. And if you can't self-correct, you're going to get in trouble. If she really wanted to stay in Niji, she should have done better to stay. I mean, to be fair, that's the reason why I have a really hard time defending Zion and why I'm not coming down really all that hard one way or the other, is because even if we argue that getting terminated over a joke is too far, one thing you can't argue is that she wasn't warned, okay? We have testimonials from both management and Hex Haywire and other people saying, we told her to stop, she did not stop, so we got rid of her, right? You can say it was unfair. You can't say she wasn't warned. So she has some minimum amount of responsibility for her own termination. Because here's the thing. Like, for example, I really like this example. You can complain about weed being illegal and say it's not that bad. That doesn't mean it's not partially your fault if you get arrested for carrying weed, right? Even if it shouldn't be illegal, you still knew it was, and then you got caught. It's partly your fault, right? Whether or not you agree with the rules, consequences are consequences. Dark humor is an acquired taste. That's where I'm at. That's very true. It's not for everybody. Wasn't one of the reasons of Zion being fired a Raid Shadow Legends joke? Not that I am aware of. The comments that she made that I saw people getting offended by, they didn't like her multiple rape jokes. That was a big one. That was probably the biggest one. A lot of people were really uncomfortable about her comments about Shotas, where she openly admitted to being a Shotokan. A lot of people didn't care, but a handful of people really did. And there was also a moment where she was talking to Hex, and she's like, "Oh, I like damaged, boys. I loves to see men suffer." And Hex was like, "Wait a minute, what? You like to see men suffer?" And he did play it off later, but I still get the impression that there was a moment of like, my whole shtick is suffering and self-care and therapy, and you like to see men suffer? I feel, even though he played it off with a joke, I still feel like he was a little bit uncomfortable with that moment. But that's just my opinion. I don't know for sure. The only time I know about their social media posts are when their posts become news here on YouTube. That's fair. I mean, I feel like there's plenty of reason to stay off of social media, right? Like, a lot of social media is garbage, and if you don't actively follow it, I totally understand. I only follow it because it's literally my job. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't. I don't think Haruka has that feeling. Yeah, when it comes to V-Shoujo being entitled, I don't think Haruka gives that vibe either. I just wish VTubers would stop showing their real faces on camera. I don't know. I'm torn. On the one hand, there is an enjoyment factor to the kayfabe, right? There's an enjoyment factor to the immersion, right? And if you don't like it, I understand, right? Everybody has their preferences. That's not an issue. The only time I have an issue is when people demand it and then get super butthurt about it and then harass the streamer about it, right? Because you're free to have your preferences. That's fine. But if you're bullying the streamer because they made that decision, that's where I think you're in the wrong. Personally. That's the line for me. Preference versus harassment. I think that's a fair take. The most I've watched of Vebe was from that interview on BBC News. She did an interview on BBC News? Nice. Hola. What's up, my dude? Granted, I get the VShoujo vibe check based on the things I saw before a lot of the recent members. Understandable. I don't agree with how Zion was treated after she got fired. That's understandable. A lot of people don't. Quilted Potato saying, I can't defend Zion for what she did, but the doxing from the so-called Niji fans was uncalled for. Also, hi, first time here. I 100% agree. Even if you don't like Zion's jokes, which I think is totally fair. If you don't vibe with those jokes, if they make you uncomfortable, that's you. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. No joke, regardless of how horrible or tasteless it was, deserves them to be doxxed. Ever. I hate it. The reason so many people become a VTuber is because we want that privacy. You guys think that like fucking Markiplier or Mr. Beast can go out in public and have a normal interaction in public? You really think Mr. Beast can go fucking anywhere without being harassed and mobbed by his literal tens of millions of fans? Not everyone wants their personal business in the limelight, but they still want to enjoy making content and having a fan base, and people have a fucking right to maintain that. Their personal business shouldn't be anyone's business unless they make it your business, right? That's not an unreasonable ask. I thought Zion was supposed to be one of these Hex's biggest clients, and I thought that was part of the bit. I don't know. I might have missed that part. That's entirely possible. Yeah, one of their listed reasons of Zion getting fired was because she said a Raid Shadow Legends joke. That's a weird thing to get fired over, to be completely honest. I believe you, I just don't know the context, so I don't want to comment on it and say something incorrect. They told Zen that they were friends before VShojo and that nothing will change. Zen's really blowing up on Twitter. I might have to check out Twitter. Autocorrect doesn't like Zion. Oh yeah, that's because Zion is actually a word. Zion is the Jewish belief that Jews have a right to live in Israel and they want to bring all the Jews to Israel. Zion, spelt with an A, is completely unrelated and probably not a great choice because her name sounds like a real world that has a real world implication. And I've seen a lot of people make comments about it that probably weren't helpful. I'm going to go look up what Zen said, actually, real quick. Zentreya. What did Zentreya say? I've heard multiple people mention it. I'll pull this up live, actually. Fuck it. We'll do it live! Where's my window capture? Boop. Okay. So everybody's saying Zen's blowing up on Twitter for her take. Good morning. Lots to take in this week, but all the best wishes to Silver and Vey. They've always been absolutely sweet to me and have always been helpful. I had wonderful times with them in VShojo, and I am excited to see what the future holds for them. Love to both of you. Oh, that's pretty sweet. I don't know why that's blowing up, though. That seems pretty, Oh, here we go. I think this gets into more of the details. Speculating and gossip does not help the situation. Me, Vey, and Silver have communicated and have been. While not every single day, we try to occasionally check in with each other. It's been a mess, and it's been hard on all of us. Collabs are harder for us, as we all live on different time zones and schedules. I have never had issues with them and still call them friends. It's incredible how Twitter is quick to spread fire instead of just listening. It's hard for me to fit in collabs later into evenings, especially when I'm doing community events and backlog work late nights. You know what? Based. Absolutely based. What a reasonable take. See, I said this earlier in the stream, and she's basically just confirming my opinion. Just because you can't hang out and you can't make time for each other doesn't mean that there is drama and tension and infighting. It doesn't mean anyone's in the wrong. It's nobody's fault that you can't make time for each other. Shit happens. So it's really nice to see Zen coming out and saying the reasonable thing that shit happens. Things don't work out. It's not, Iron Mouse isn't a bad friend because she couldn't fit, one of her many, many friends and acquaintances into her schedule, right? I'm glad she said that because I think people needed to hear it. Did she say anything else? Let me check. What else did she say? I choked up seeing this more than I should have. I know you told me it's not graduating, but it still hits. I'm wishing for you to find so much success and so many good things. From the bottom of my heart, I am a pain in the butt, but I'm very thankful for the moments we had. I'm doing it again. Love you to Vey. Oh, that's so sweet. It's interesting that Zen says that because a lot of people are calling this a graduation, but in my opinion, it's really not. She existed before VShojo, she joined VShojo, and then she left. The VShojo, she's not graduating from VShojo. VShojo was just a blip on her timeline. It worked while it worked, and it didn't work while it didn't work. She's not dying. And there's also no reason she can't collab with VShojo members, because Gunrun lets the talents do whatever the fuck they want, so nothing is lost. This seems a little targeted. This seems a little passive-aggressive. When's the last time you hung out with them? What does she have to say? We talked in DMs here and there, checking in on each other as well as the occasional collabs with VShojo. We have different times we are on. I'm not obligated to answer you or anyone else with personal info. Be respectful. Based. Absolutely based. And and yet again, Zen is saying something that I said a fucking hour ago, verifying my opinion. I said friends check in each other in the DMs, and you are not privy to those discussions. I literally said that an hour ago. Here she is supporting my point. Based. You love to see it. So, yeah, absolutely. I'll see if she said anything else relevant before I take this down. Looks like it's all... that's probably not safe. That's probably not safe for stream. But anyway, I don't know. I think that's a pretty base statement. I think Zen said everything that I had to say. And more succinctly than I said it too, because she's not as rambly as I am. All right, let me check chat. Oh, I forgot to say hola to Dang Wen. What up, Wen? Is it Wen or Wen? I can never remember how to pronounce that name. Let's see. One of their sorry. Lanza doesn't help either because I just keep thinking of the shooter. The shooter? I have no idea what you're talking about, friend. Was there a shooter named Lanza? That's terrible. From what I seen of VShojo members, seemed to me they were better off without the company. VShojo, you know, honestly, I kind of feel that way too. It doesn't feel like Gunrun is really doing all that much besides merch. And it feels like the friend group is kind of splintered. And if the friend group is splintered and you're really only using Gunrun for merch and promo and whatever, maybe a sponsor here and there, it doesn't really seem all that worth it, you know? They have no obligation to stay with that company if they're not getting enough benefit out of it. Zentreya seems cool. Zen is cool. I don't watch Zen because for the same reason I don't watch Neuro, and that's I don't like the text-to-speech voice. I find it unpleasant to listen to. But even though I don't listen to Neuro or Zen, I still think they're based as hell. Zen more so because she's a real person. Also, Zen, I just really like her personality. Anytime I see her make a statement or I see clips of her, she's always saying something based. Zen, like always, a great person. Absolutely. Based Zen. Hell yeah. Plot twist, Zen is watching you. What are the odds? What are the odds? That'd be hilarious. Imagine Zen watching me on alt account. Imagine if one of you was secretly Zentreya on her alt account. Is that you, Quiltado Potato? Is that you? Are you secretly Zentreya? I see you. I've only watched K-san at VShojo. I should really give the others a look. You know, honestly, I feel like, in my opinion, let me pull this back up here. My personal opinion, if you're interested in VShojo, I highly, highly recommend Iron Mouse. I'm sure everyone in chat can vouch for Iron Mouse being, she is hilarious. She is energetic. She's charismatic. She can sing so good. 10 out of 10. I would also recommend Nyanners. I should learn how to fucking spell. Nyanners is a absolute gremlin. To give you an idea of what Nyanners is like, let me see if I can find it. Oh my god, this is gonna bother me. I'll do a search for it. Toilet. God, learn to spell, Beelzebub. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there it is. Nyanners has done not one, but 2 toilet reviews. 2. Okay? I feel like that should tell you everything you need to know about Nyanners, to be honest. She's done 2 toilet reviews. What else has she done? Milking. Yeah. I milked myself in front of 20,000 people on stream. And what she did is she got a glove, filled it up with strawberry milk, poked a hole in the glove, and then, like, milked the glove. Nyanners is so weird, and I love it. She's unhinged, bizarre. I think she's very much an acquired taste. A lot of people find Nyanners annoying or too weird, and that's totally fair. A lot of people love the fact that she's annoying and weird. So those are my two recommendations. Iron Mouse is a little bit more standard, funny, charismatic, talented, can sing, all that jazz. Nyanners just a bundle of wackadoo. That or VShojo needs better management. Bro, we already know VShojo is shit at management. They didn't tell fans that there was a scam going on, even though they knew, right? Garbage security. And when their talents were actively getting harassed, they did nothing to step in and protect their talents. They did nothing to moderate their chats or moderate their Twitter or anything. They just let them get lambasted in their chats and on Twitter with no intervention. I don't know what they could have done, but the fact that they made no effort whatsoever proves that they don't care. That's why I called them just a merch company, because what else do they fucking do, right? Not support them, that's for sure. They found me. I'm clearly Zendrea. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I found you, Zen. Literacy is overrated. No, learn to read. First Western VTuber I watched just because of the fact that she had so much charisma and entertainment value despite the robo voice was kind of crazy to me. I think that's fair. If you like Zendrea, mad respect for you. I can't do the robo voice. Bugs me. It's kind of like, you know how when you listen to ASMR and then you get the tingles? Hate those. I hate ASMR tingles. And it's the same thing with the robo voice. It's that uncanny feeling that I get when I listen to it. Am I weird for that? Is that a weird take? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who cares. I really don't like the text-to-speech voices. But the person behind the AI voice totally loves that. Not going to lie, I won't be back on board with them until they form a skeleton of a bridge with Nux. Nux said that he talked to the VShojo girls and put it behind him. And I have no reason to assume that he's being inauthentic. And it's also been like, what, a year, 2 years? How long has it been? I understand why you feel like they should build a bridge. But everybody involved in this scenario wants to move past it. And from my perspective, and I'm not accusing you and I'm not calling you out, this is just my perspective. It seems to me that the fans are more stuck on what happened than the talents involved. And because of that, I'm not going to harp on it and I'm not going to continue to cast judgment. When it happened, I said my piece. I feel like I was appropriately angry and appropriately upset. I did my damnedest to do damage control when it happened. Go back and watch my old videos. I did my damnedest to do damage control and be like, no, it's a misunderstanding. These aren't terrible people. Oh my God, Nux didn't do anything wrong, but also the girls were, I was a mess, man. I really don't like it when two content creators fight because I'm always pro-creator. When a content creator and a corpo fight, pro-creator, fuck the corpo. Middle fingers all around. Eat my dick, corpos. I don't give a fuck about corpos. But when it's two content creators, I'm always torn because I always want to believe the best in the people that make the content that I love, even if that's unreasonable and even if I shouldn't. And that's probably just me being parasocial, to be honest. Anytime I see a content creator that I love, I want to assume the best instead of the worst. And that's kind of why I did this whole VTuber news, VTuber drama channel. Not because I wanted to spread drama, as I'm often accused of spreading drama. Watch my videos. A couple of times I have admittedly perpetuated drama, but 99% of my videos, I'm telling people to calm the fuck down. Watch my videos. I'm always telling people it's a misunderstanding, miscommunication, telling people to move on, telling people that the people who are starting drama are a vocal minority and don't represent all the fans. That's kind of the crux of why I do this, is I want to bring the mood down, bring the anxiety down. I don't like how stressful it is being in this community, and anything that I can do to bring the stress level down, I will gladly do. Sorry, that was kind of a rant and not really your point. I apologize. And again, I apologize if it sounds like I'm attacking you. I'm not trying to. You just provoked me to say something that's been on my mind. Yeah, fair enough, but still, I can understand that. Lightning Ninja Yui-chan VTuber. Hi. Hey, how's it going? Happy to have new people. It sounds like it looks like I'm getting a decent amount of traction on this video. That's so cool. I've already got 700 views. Let's go. Let's go. All right. I think I might talk to chat for just a smidge longer, and then I think I might wrap things up. I've kind of said everything I wanted to say, and I think I'm at this point just kind of repeating myself. Let's see. Nux submitted Truck-chan to Zen Smasher Pass stream a few months ago. That's hilarious. Bills is the mediator we need and don't deserve. I don't know. I think I get criticized for this a lot, and that's I've been told multiple times that I get too emotional and I get too attached, and that's fair. And sometimes I wonder if I should be more like Kyo, because Kyo for the most part stays pretty neutral. And I think a lot of people respect him more than they respect me because he tries his best to be neutral. And anytime he does give a hot take, it's very, very lukewarm and middle of the road. And that is something I'm a little bit self-conscious about. Is like, should I admit how much I care? You know what I mean? Is it too cringy to care as much as I do? I love these content creators. I love this community. I don't know. You tell me if I'm cringe. Let's see. What do you think of the irony of Silvervale leaving VShojo after defending them 2 years ago? Well, I think at this point, it's not... Here's the thing. When she left, she didn't shit talk VShojo, right? All she said in her post was, I'm an indie, bitches. That's all she said, right? She had no shade to throw at VShojo. So what I imagine is she talked up the company 2 years ago when they were beneficial to her. She's now kind of woken up and being like, this isn't what I need right now. I don't feel like I fit here. I don't think the company's doing enough. It's time for me to leave. And I genuinely don't think that's hypocritical. I think her mindset and her opinion evolved over time. And I think that's totally fine. And think about it, right? Everybody changes, right? The company has changed. She has changed. She's got a steady audience. She's got her merch drop. She's got everything she needs. So, yeah, I don't see. I know you didn't accuse her of hypocrisy, but I just want to clarify. I don't think it's hypocritical. Let's see. What happened to Silvervale? I've already covered that a couple of times. Far from Evolution. So I would encourage you to go back and rewatch the start of the video because I don't want to keep repeating myself. Sorry, I can't give you the breakdown right now. He remained very unbiased. That's very true. True, we all got our lives with many responsibilities. That's very true. We live by the cringe and we are molded by it. All right. I didn't really care about the Nux drama. Watch Zen, Mousy, and Nazuna in peace. I think that's the way to do it. From music to TV to movies to cartoons to comic books to anime to manga to novels to video games. Heck, VTubers now even appear on billboards, both in music and advertising in the real world. We're ubiquitous at this point. That's very true. Mori Calliope appears on billboards, especially in Japan. That's absolutely true. All right. Well, I appreciate all of you for coming out. I really, really do. I think I'm going to call it here. My voice is killing me, and I don't know why. Jesus Christ, why is my voice hurt? I'm dying! Anyway, thank you all for coming out. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the questions. This video was kind of a rambly mess, so I appreciate you all sticking through it and watching it. Bye, guys. Love y'all.